Hello and welcome back. I am Mario the Artisan Rogue, and this is my vlog, and this is take number 3. Yes, 3. The last 2 takes were ruined because, as you'll see from the inset here, my cat decided to mess with the audio, and I'm not sure what he did. I'm pretty sure this microphone is dead. This may very well have been something I did, and he just finished off. It was one of those weird things where I thought the audio, the levels looked fine, and then I went back and listened to it, and it sounded seriously like I was talking through a paper bag. It was the weirdest audio. I don't even know what went wrong. Anyway, I'm just going to jump into this now because I had meant for this to be a pretty quick video, and it's already getting later, and I want to get this edited before tomorrow, and there's a reason for that. January was basically, I was MIA on social media for the most part. There was a few places I stuck around and a few places that I put my opinion out there, but for the most part, I did not do the weekly vlogging that I thought I was going to be doing. Now, I'll be completely honest with you guys. I was kind of down in the dumps. I was doubting my own artwork. I was not really being as productive as I wanted to be. Just in general, it was one of those things for anybody creative, anyone that does anything really. You don't even have to be creative. Everybody can go through this sort of thing. When you feel like, you know what, I just don't feel like doing anything. And it's a bummer. It really is. It's something that I'm going to touch back on here at the end of the video because what I want to do is get to everything else. I'm going to stay on track. I'm really trying to. I've even got show notes, better show notes this time. I drew I drew my doggy, but I also drew like little lines around everything so I'd remember where I was going with my show notes. I will start off first by saying that the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. Really weird, isn't it? I'm talking about sports. This is not a sports podcast or vlog or anything like that. I'm excited for a couple reasons. First of all, it's really cool they won the Super Bowl because I think it was like 1969, 1909. I don't know. It was 50 years ago was when they won. Was there football in 1909? They won it, and it was fantastic. I will say this much. I used to work at the stadium. I worked for Aramark, and they are the people that like serve all the food and do all the things in the different places. They also, they're an international company. Some of you may have worked for them or eaten their burgers. And I worked for them, and so there was the opportunity to witness both baseball games and football games. And I worked there during the season long enough to watch both. Intermittently, if my former manager was watching this, I did not watch the games. I intermittently walked by them and noticed things like downs and things like that. I'm not a fan of any sports, but what I am is a fan of games in general. And something I'd always wondered was like, well, if I ever actually sat down and watched a game, would I enjoy it? Well, turns out I picked the right one. According to everybody else that I told this to, I picked the right game to start watching football with. No, I'm probably not going to keep on watching football, but the Super Bowl was actually pretty fun. I have to say that both the 49ers and the Chiefs put on a hell of an entertaining show. It was really pretty funny and pretty darn good. And hey, that halftime show, amazing. Abso-freaking-lutely amazing. I mean, probably my favorite part of the whole thing, honestly. And that's not just because of J-Lo and Shakira. It was just good. This was so cool in the fact that, it was a nice bit of positivity that was coming around. It was nice to see people happy. It was nice to see people really engaged in something. I thought to myself, I'm like, man, this is like the ultimate fandom in a lot of ways. It's really cool to see this sort of camaraderie and everything else like that come together. I may have my wherewithals and some other misgivings about some aspects of the fandom. This is true, but this is not the time to really talk about that. So I will say this much. If you guys happen to be coming down for the parade that is supposed to be happening tomorrow, in the snow, and you've got an extra 25 to 30 bucks to pay to park your car somewhere, fantastic. It's in downtown Kansas City, Missouri, not Kansas, and it seems to be a really good thing. They're like saying that a lot of people are going to be there. I don't know how many people are going to be there. I know I was on the roof of Hallmark whenever they had the 2015 World Series thing. I guess the Royals played the rest of the world and they won. And that was great. It was like a sea of blue. And I've got video of that somewhere. I'll have to look and see if I can find that. But it was amazing. It was absolutely crazy to see that many people in blue walking around. I'm like, holy crap, that's amazing. It was like the ultimate wave of cosplay. It was just really bizarre. January in general, although I wasn't the most productive artist on the planet, I was really happy to be able to get involved with another group of like-minded individuals that are doing something really freaking cool in Warrensburg. It's called Retrograde. And if you haven't been there, you need to go there. Here's why. First of all, it's an arcade. It's also a toy museum. These are two things that are highly, highly valued and very near and dear to my heart. My whole studio basically looks like a museum. And it's got all my toy collection. Well, it used to. Actually, some of my toy collection now lives there at Retrograde. For a small fee, you can play all the arcade machines they have downstairs. They've also got this really cool, consistent work in progress upstairs of a bunch of toys from yesteryear and even some modern stuff up there that you guys can check out. It's a really wonderful effort. The two fantastic people responsible for this place are Ryan and Brian, two new friends of mine that just after a few minutes of talking to them, I was like, these guys are awesome. They're absolutely down the same path of thinking that I am. They understand a lot of things, and they've organized this as a nonprofit that is going to benefit a lot of stuff in the area, teaching kids about animation, helping in other aspects, collecting food. I would go further in depth with this and give you more information. You can look up some of it in the show notes down below, including, their website and stuff. They've agreed to do an interview, and it's going to be one of the creative interviews. So that's coming up in hopefully here in the next few weeks. I love working for non-for-profits and doing community work and stuff like that. I'm involved in a couple of different projects, but this one was one that was like super close to my heart, because not only does part of my collection reside there, but also it's something where when I was younger, there used to be an arcade called Token Joe's. And it was in Warrensburg. And some of you may remember this place. I have one coin that exists from that time. And it was weird to me whenever I was talking to them, they said that they also had a coin from Token Joe's as well, too. I'm not a believer in fate, but man, that's a weird thing, like to know, wow, you guys do know. You actually have a bit of that history here. When I was just out of junior high, going into high school, that was the place to go. I used to go there on weekends, and then after it would close, I'd go across the street over to a place called I'm Game, and that was where I first learned how to play D&D. I played Greyhawk and Ravenloft and a ton of things like that. And those memories stayed with me for a long time. And they, you can never go back, but you certainly can look forward. And I can't wait to see where this is going to go for them. And I think there's a lot of possibility and a lot of really good progress in general that is going to happen. It hit me, like that feeling that I had there, like playing Cruising USA or playing Mortal Kombat, those memories came flooding back. To be able to be in a place where you feel safe, where you feel accepted, all these sort of things, that is important. And I'm hoping that this will be a good outreach for a lot of the youth there, or even a lot of the college kids that are there at UCM. Speaking of art and other events of that nature, I had the opportunity to go to the Nelson Atkins Museum, and they had a event going on for the Chinese New Year, and that was really cool. It really was. I know that a lot of things I say are really cool, but that's because I like going to cool things, and this was extremely cool. It was put on by the museum, and it was really well done. This wasn't cheesy. This wasn't like, going and, celebrating like Cinco de Mayo by having tacos on your corporate menu or anything. Imagine working somewhere like that. They had a bunch of stuff set up where, you could go and you could learn Chinese calligraphy. You could learn about the way the culture dressed, what certain things meant, what you could watch musical performances, which were really well done, and the audio won't do it any justice, but here you go. Number one, the attendance was off the charts good. At least I think it was. I mean, I'm used to working crowd control and kind of getting a good gauge as to how many people are in an area. And usually in some of the galleries where I'm used to walking through, you can walk through and just a couple seconds cross the room. There's some big art in there. But if you're really walking through, you can get through. This was like literally standing behind Mitch McConnell. You're just kind of like trucking along at a turtle's speed. But it was really cool to be in there and see all these people really wanting to learn and embrace and do something. Granted, the event was free, so that's going to get a lot of people coming in there. But I'm hoping that even though the event was free, that people came in and they enjoyed themselves and they really liked what was going on. With that being said, that's the majority of what was going on. I do have more art videos coming up, and I will be doing more vlogging. I just hadn't had the chance to edit or put together a lot more of the videos that I wanted to. But I'm going to change that. I will absolutely, after this week, start going to vlogging weekly and showing you guys some work in progress, and maybe, just maybe, finally getting my stuff together and going live on Twitch and or YouTube. I haven't figured all of this out yet. I know some people have said, go live on Facebook. I'm really not down with that. I know other people do it and they do it well. I think if I just go live, period, that'll be something. But it's going to be a lot of this rambling stuff mixed in with drawing. And I'm hoping you guys might want to watch that. Again, if you're out tomorrow in the snow, if it does indeed snow all day like it's supposed to, and you're at the parade, be safe, be excellent to one another, and celebrate the hell out of the fact that they won the Super Bowl. Genuinely, that's a very cool thing, and it's very nice to see a lot of people in Kansas City being so nice to each other. Thanks so much for watching. I am Mario the Artisan Rogue. You can follow me on Twitter at the Artisan Rogue and a bunch of other social media, all down in the information of the video down below. Thanks again.